The following is an exclusive presentation of Bragging Rights Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the 2026 championship game of the World Baseball Classic? I know I am. And folks, after 3 long weeks of grinding and hard sweat blood affairs, the finale of the 6th edition of the World Baseball Classic comes right at you here tonight. Woo! I'm excited if you can't tell. Good to see everybody! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy St. Paddy's Day and welcome back to Bragging Rights Sports. I'm your host, Michael Hession, the founder of Bragging Rights Sports. And tonight, it comes down to 2 teams. Will it be the Cinderella story of the World Baseball Classic in Venezuela, or will it be the long-standing powerhouse of the United States of America? It is truly a game that should be up for grabs right from the get-go. All right. I'm already excited for that. Let me turn this thing down a little bit. So, whew. If you guys cannot tell, I am wearing the Iron Man jersey since this is America we're talking about. I mean, you can't really see it from this perspective, but as I said, Cal Ripken Jr. is baseball's Iron Man, born and raised in Baltimore, and Iron Man is obviously an American-made superhero. So, anyways, let's go over some ground rules before we get this going. If you are new, welcome. We are happy to have you on board. If you go to our website, braggingrightsports.com, and go under the MLB section of the website, you will find the audio for tonight's stream. So anyways, with that being said, This is going to be one heck of a matchup. I don't get to do these kind of live streams often, but when a time like this comes around, you got to do it. But I didn't do a live stream for the Canada-US gold medal hockey game in the 2026 Olympics, but I knew after watching that, I said, I got to do a stream for this. And well, guess what? I'm doing one tonight. So for those that are tuning in, yes, this is going to be fun. The atmosphere tonight in Miami is electric. And let's get right to the introductions of the starting lineups. The atmosphere tonight in South Beach is electric. According to a Spot Track fan chart, it is about 60% United States fans and 40% for Venezuela. And everyone's like, how does the U.S. only have 60% fans when it's on their territory? Well, guess what? If you've ever been to Miami, you will notice that there is a lot of Hispanics that live in the Miami area. And whether it's Cuban, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuelan, Mexican, you name it, it's foreign Spanish-speaking cultures down there, especially the five that I just mentioned. And Venezuela, their fans in the game last night between them and Italy, their fans were all over the place. Like, Italy jumps out to an early lead. They go up 2-0 in the second inning. And it looks like Italy is about to continue their Cinderella run after they had just humiliated the Americans in Houston last week. I was shocked when that happened. I'm like, I didn't think the U.S. would get beat unless they played like Japan or the Dominican Republic, but the beating that Italy gave them, oh, good grief. And I was excited to see what happened last night only because the only reason I was excited about last night from an American perspective is that Nolan McLean, who is starting tonight's game for Team USA, he will not have to face the same team that roughed him up for 6 runs last week. Need I remind you, he was the losing pitcher of the game that U.S. lost to Italy. And it drove social media crazy, especially all the social media nerds that root for American baseball or just American sports in general. Boy, is this going to be fun. Yup. So the other night, the U.S. took down the Dominican Republic in what was a controversial ending as Mason Miller struck out Geraldo Perdomo on a 3-2 breaking ball to end the game with a runner at third and 2 outs. And everyone's saying, oh, that's one of the worst calls of all time. I'm like, no. If you've ever played Little League, you are taught to swing no matter what at a 3-2 pitch. Because anything close to the strike zone, especially a pitch like that, they will call you out. I'm serious. They will call you out if you are looking at anything close to the strike zone on a 3-2 pitch. It's the golden rule of Little League, golden rule of high school, golden rule of college, golden rule of the minor leagues, and obviously golden rule of the major leagues. So basically, you're taught to go no matter what. And because of that, the Dominican Republic's hopes of a third World Baseball Classic championship was gone. And think about this for a second. Japan and the DR have arguably been two of the more dominant nations in baseball over the last 20 years. But the Americans have lived on another day. And what's crazy is that I thought Japan was at least going to get to the finals at minimum. All that talent they had, especially in the pitching staff with Sasaki and Yamamoto, just to name a few, plus Otani, Murakami, and many others at the plate. We all thought this was going to be a lock for the Japanese to get to the final and a rematch against the Americans. But Italy stomped them, and I feel like all of the Italians' good karma had been used up. Actually, no, that was Venezuela. Why do I get this confused? It was Venezuela who knocked off the Japanese. Why am I getting that all confused? I'm like, God, give me. I'm like, jeez, what am I thinking? And you could and enough of that. Anyways, the two dugouts, there is a vibe going on. While the Venezuelans are loose and comfy and confident, The Americans are stone cold focused. They are not rattled by anything that comes their way. So let's take a look at tonight's matchups. First, the starting lineup for Venezuela, as we just heard over the PA system just moments ago during player introductions. So here is the lineup that Venezuela will be trotting out tonight. Leading off in right field will be Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves. Batting second will be Michael Garcia, third base of the Kansas City Royals. At first base and batting third from the San Diego Padres will be Luis Arias. Batting cleanup in the DH spot from the Seattle Mariners last year was Eugenio Suarez. I think he re-signed. Yeah, I think he re-signed with the Reds. I could be wrong, but let's see. He was with Seattle last year. I think he did come back. But anyways, batting fifth will be Gleyber Torres, playing second base from the Detroit Tigers. Batting sixth at shortstop from the Colorado Rockies will be Ezequiel Tovar. Batting seventh in left field, formerly from the Boston Red Sox, Wilmer Abreu. Batting eighth, the longtime face of the Kansas City Royals, backstop Salvador Perez. And batting ninth, the wunderkind of the Milwaukee Brewers in center field, Jackson Rio. And pitching tonight for the Venezuelans, Eduardo Rodriguez, who was originally drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. He was traded over there for Andrew Miller in 2014 and helped capture a World Series title for the Red Sox in 2018. On the other side for the Americans, leading off will be Bobby Witt Jr., also from the Kansas City Royals. Batting second at first base from the Philadelphia Phillies would be Bryce Harper. And the American captain and Yankee captain, Aaron Judge, will be batting third in right field. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter who just got a massive contract from the Philadelphia Phillies, Kyle Schwarber. And here's the big one, and it's controversial. Normally, starting at third base from the Baltimore Orioles would be Gunnar Henderson, but because they're up against the lefty tonight, Mark DeRosa has decided to bat Alex Bregman in the 5 spot, freshly signed of the San Francisco Giants. And speaking of his former team, the Red Sox, batting sixth in left field will be Roman Anthony, who went deep for the second of the 2 runs by the Americans against Dominican Republic the other night. Batting seventh, the World Series hero last year from the Dodgers, Mr. Getting Jiggy with it, not the Will Smith, but Will Smith the catcher. Batting eighth, a up-and-coming bright star for the Milwaukee Brewers at second base in the form of Bryce Terang. And batting ninth, the lone member left of the Minnesota Twins that's keeping them relevant, the longtime face of the franchise, Byron Buxton. And pitching for the Americans tonight, a strong candidate for this year's National League Rookie of the Year from the New York Mets, Nolan McLean. And how will he follow up the outing that Paul Skeens had against the Dominican Republic on Sunday night? I guess we're about to find out. So the last time the Americans made it this far, I should say the last 2 times, 2017, they took down on Puerto Rico in the championship game in convincing fashion, 6-1 at Dodger Stadium. Then 3 years ago, they faced the almighty Japanese baseball empire and lost 3-2 as Shohei Ohtani struck out Mike Trout to end the game. And now tonight, they will be taking on Venezuela, who is searching for their first ever World Baseball Classic championship, while the Americans are in their 3rd consecutive final and looking for their 2nd title in the last 3 attempts. As you can see, Mark DeRosa, longtime MLB Network analyst, is going with the young gun, Nolan McLean, to try and bail them out and clinch the championship. But the Venezuelan lineup that he is going up against, my God, is it loaded with talent. Especially the top 3 hitters who are who are all contact hitting machines. Well, Acuna is a power threat, but like Garcia and Arias, contact hitting machines. So here comes Acuna, who has 2 home runs under his belt in the World Baseball Classic so far, set to lead things off. First pitch start time, 8:20, and the pitch is lined up the middle of base hit into center field. And right on cue, the Venezuelans lead off the ball game with a single into center field. And here's the defensive alignments for the United States. Behind the plate is Will Smith. At first is Bryce Harper. At second is Bryce Terang. At third is Alex Bregman. At short is Bobby Witt Jr. In left is Roman Anthony. In center is Byron Buxton. And in right is Aaron Judge. And now Garcia comes to the plate here in a pickoff move to first. He'll be to no avail. So in their game against the Japanese, Acuna led off the ball game with a home run on the second pitch of the game. And now Garcia stands in and takes a slider outside. Ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Game time temperature while we are indoors, it is 72 degrees inside Lone Depot Park in Miami. 1-0 pitch is lined to third. Bregman has it, goes to second. Out there, out there. 3 pitches into the ball game. We've got action right off the bat. First, a leadoff single by Acuna, and then Garcia grounds into a double play. It's 2 down. And if McLean gets any kind of help from his defense, yeah, good luck with that. And my guess tonight, there will be a lot of beer cups being chucked in the air, not only in the ballpark, but anywhere around those 2 nations. As Arias stands in and takes a fastball at 99 on the inside part of the plate, it is 1-0. Arias batting .348 in the World Baseball Classic as he hits a high pop-up into straightaway center field. Buxton stands under it, makes the catch, and retires the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left on. The Americans coming to bat in the bottom of the first. Man, this game just started like 3 minutes ago, and all of a sudden, McLean is right through the first inning. Yep. As I said, if he gets innings like this, it could be a long night for Venezuela, especially if the American offense can get anything going. It's going to be interesting to see what Bryce Harper in particular is doing. I'm shocked that he's batting second because he's hitting 167 in the World Baseball Classic. And Alex Bregman's hitting 182. Like, there's a lot of U.S. fans, especially Baltimore fans, that are frustrated that Gunnar Henderson is not playing, at least starting tonight. So it would not surprise me if Henderson comes in later into the game for offensive purposes, especially if Venezuela decides to chuck out a righty. Ooh, boy. Probably not going to have a voice by the end of the night, but who gives a damn? And I think it's absolutely critical for Team USA to get on the board early in the bottom of the first inning against Venezuela, who, yes, has been experts at coming back in this tournament, but they also protect leads. So if you're Mark DeRosa and company, you want to get off to a fast start. Get your crowd into the game because, yes, it is 60-40 U.S. versus Venezuela fans in attendance, and I mean that right field side, that visiting dugout. The Venezuela fans have swarmed it. So we are going to see what Team USA can do in the bottom of the first inning as we check back inside of Lone Depot Park in South Beach. For those that don't know this was the former site of the Miami Orange Bowl, which stood for over 70 years, as Witt hits it high in the air to center field. going back on it is the center fielder Churio. He makes the catch on the warning track for the first out. So just like Venezuela, Team USA comes out swinging on the first pitch, but gets nothing out of it. So there's Eduardo Rodriguez, who last year had a down year with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He had an ERA of just over 5. And in this tournament, he has an ERA of over 9. And if you're a Venezuela fan, you hope that he gets to turn it around quickly. As Harper swings and misses a foul tip into the mid for strike 1. Oh, is he trying to put 1 run on the board as quickly as possible? Here comes the 0-1 from Rodriguez. Harper takes a cutter on the outside. It's 1-1. So Witt, Harper, and Judge 2 up for USA in the bottom of the first as they try to get a rally going. As Harper hits a high drive, popped up on the infield, and Tovar makes the catch behind short, 2 down. And there's Omar Lopez, the manager of Venezuela. As we've mentioned earlier in the telecast, or I should say in the broadcast, this is not on TV. They have made their first trip to the World Baseball Classic, and now they're trying to cash it in. And here comes Aaron Judge, who is very familiar with Rodriguez, given Rodriguez's time with the Boston Red Sox, as he takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Suarez, Torres, and Tovar up for Venezuela in the top of the second, as Judge looks at a changeup downstairs, 1-1. You get the feeling that Aaron Judge, if he gets something over the heart of the plate that's on a mistake, he can crush one. And he takes another changeup downstairs. It's 2-1. The thing that Judge has improved over the years, especially at the plate, is he has improved his patience. Because in his younger years, he probably would have chased a couple pitches out of the zone, but he's really laid back on it. 2-1 from Rodriguez. Swinging a high pop-up, but foul towards the first base side. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I wonder what Rodriguez is thinking. He's like, if I can challenge him on a part of the strike zone where he can't necessarily do damage, it'll work out. And that's exactly what he did. Strike 3 called on a circle change. And the Americans are retired in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. It's scoreless going to the top of the second. Before we go any further, I'd like to give a big shout out to Penn State Sports Night. Gobs the PSU sports information with professional sports updates from time to time and hosts and analysts who know their stuff. PSN TV's top show is a click away, so why not give them a sub? The link to the channel will be put into the description if you guys want to go and check it out. Yep. Speaking of Penn State Sports Night, they're going to be very busy this weekend at the Women's Frozen Four, which is taking place at Pagula Ice Arena. And yes, I am going to that because Penn State, their women's team is in the Frozen Four for the first time in program history. So, from my perspective, it is going to be bonkers. Totally bonkers. And the thing about that tournament, from my perspective, is everyone's going to say it's a foregone conclusion that it's going to be Ohio State against Wisconsin in the national championship game on Sunday nights, because that has been the final matchup the last 3 years, with Wisconsin winning 2 of them and Ohio State. Actually, no, Ohio State won 2 of them. Wisconsin won. I think Wisconsin's the defending champion. Actually, no, Ohio State's the defending champ. Why am I getting that confused? Anyways, we'll save that talk for the next TV timeout because we're back in Miami. Start of the second inning, Team USA and Venezuela scoreless as Eugenio Suarez stands in to face Nolan McLean to lead it off. And McLean only threw 5 pitches in the top of the first inning. He gave up a leadoff single to Ronald Acuna. And then he got a perfectly placed ground ball from Michael Garcia. And then he got Luis Arias to pop up to Buxton in center field to end the inning. So the first pitch to Suarez is inside on a sinker at 97. It's 1-0. So Torres, and Tovar up for Venezuela in the second. And another sinker inside. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. It's 1-1 strike. I like what McLean's doing right there. He's trying to jam him inside and get a check swing that the umpire can approve. 1-1. Suarez bounces it foul. It's 1-2 strikes. So Suarez hitting only 188 so far in the World Baseball Classic. Swing and a miss, he got him. Slider gets it at 88 miles an hour, and he goes fishing at it. It's 1 down in the second. So far, Nolan McLean has gotten the exact start he wanted. 4 up, 4 down with the exclusion of the single to Acuna. And the first pitch is right down the middle to Gleyber Torres. It's strike 1. 0-1. Slider on the outside corner catches the zone. It's 0-2. So Torres is batting .308 in the World Baseball Classic so far. He's been one of their more productive hitters in terms of contact and getting on base. Strike 3 down looking. He went with the front door slider and it works to perfection. It's 2 down and immediately. That is a nasty, nasty slider. That looked like one of those old school Steve Carlton pitches where it's like ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And now Ezequiel Tovar stands in as he fouls it right off the shin guard of Will Smith. It's 0 balls and a strike. And McLean is very close to having another quick inning. However, Tovar has led the Venezuelans in batting average this World Baseball Classic. Even though he doesn't have an RBI, he has been an on-base machine. And there's a looping fly ball into right field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. And Tovar's hot streak continues as he has a 2-out single. I feel like he is one of the more underrated middle infielders in baseball, and the only reason I say that is because he plays for the Rockies, who are probably the worst team in baseball. But if he was on like a better team, for example, like not necessarily like a powerhouse, but a team that was at least respectable, he would get a lot more credibility. So Wilmer Abreu stands in and takes a fastball right down the middle. It's 0-1. So Abreu is the one who delivered the big blow by hitting a grand slam in the 8-5 win against Japan, in the 8-6 win against Japan this past weekend. As the pitch is up high and taken, it's 1-1 strike. That vaunted Japanese bullpen rarely gives up a hit like that, but they did that night. And a pickoff move to first. Ooh, and Tovar barely gets back in there. Would have been just what the doctor ordered for Team USA if the umpire ruled him out. Here comes the 1-1. So we're going to line shot down the left field line, but foul. It's 1-2 strikes. Schwarber, Bregman, and Anthony will be up for Team USA in the bottom of the second. And right now, their main objective is to make sure that Venezuela doesn't do any more 2-out damage. Tovar gets his lead from first. 1-2 pitch. Popped him up. Back behind short. Witt goes out into the outfield grass, makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left on. After 1.5, it's still scoreless with Team USA coming to bat. Back in Miami, scoreless going into the bottom of the second inning as Kyle Schwarber stands in to lead things off against Eduardo Rodriguez. And the Americans had two basically quick innings. They did give up a couple of hits, but no real damage to speak of. And Schwarber takes a cutter on the outside. It's 0 balls and 1 strike. So the middle of the U.S. order, Schwarber, Bregman, and Anthony will be up in the second. And the 0-1 is a curveball downstairs. It's 1-1. So Eduardo Rodriguez basically got through his half of the first inning unscathed. And now let's see what he does for an encore in the second. And Schwarber takes it outside. It's 2-1. So Schwarber did homer in the World Baseball Classic Championship game in 2023, which cut the deficit to 3-2, but the U.S. got no closer. And Schwarber fouls it back to the screen. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I know most Americans are kind of sad that they aren't playing against Japan based on the narratives of 2023, but hey, you play who you play, and you don't complain. So Schwarber is 8 for 22 in the World Baseball Classic with a homer and 3 RBIs knocked in. 2-2 coming from Rodriguez. Struck him out. Got him with a 4-seam fastball that he was late on, and it's 1 down in the second. And my guess that time was Schwarber was clearly sitting off speed. And now Alex Bregman will stand in with 1 down as he faces Rodriguez. 2 for 11 in this World Baseball Classic, looking to turn it around. Check swing, did he go around? Yes, he did. On a cutter, it's 0 balls and 1 strike. And let's see if the second guessing of him starting over Gunnar Henderson will work out. Circle change on the outside on a 1-1 pitch. It's now 1-1. It was 0-1 before that. 1-1 on it, thinking right now. And you can tell Gunnar Henderson's probably going to be antsy to be out there later in this game. 1-2 the count now as it swung on and missed at a changeup. So Rodriguez has already retired the first 4 men he's faced in this game. As Bregman bounces it to first, it's going to be a tough play. Look at the athletic ability right there of Luis Arias, 2 down. Well, Arias started his career as a second baseman for the Minnesota Twins, so he at least showed off the legs on that one. I mean, it's a good thing to have a guy who can not only play first base, but he can also play second because he has a good glove and obviously a contact hitting machine bat. So here comes Roman Anthony, who went deep for Team USA on Sunday against the Dominican Republic as he takes a fastball on the inside. It's 0-1. So Anthony is batting .318 so far on the World Baseball Classic. Trying to build on it right here. And the 1-0 is taken on the outside corner. Cut fastball. It's 1-1. So Salvi, Jackson Chourio, and Acuna will be due up for Venezuela in the top of the third. 1-1 coming to Roman Anthony. And Rodriguez wanted to try and get him to fish at a curveball on the outside, but he won't. It's 2-1. I mean, so far he's really mixed his pitches in quite well from what I could tell. 2-1, trying to get a bid from the umpire, but he cannot. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. And the catcher, Will Smith, standing in the on-deck circle for USA if this thing goes any further in the second. 3-1 coming. Swinging a bouncing ball, hit back to the mound. Rodriguez fields it cleanly, throws the first, got him, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Rodriguez, through 2 innings, has held the Americans in check, scoreless going to the top of the third. Top of the third inning we go in Miami. Americans and Venezuelans scoreless after 2 excellent innings thrown by Nolan McLean and Eduardo Rodriguez. And now McLean goes out to the top of the third and faces Salvador Perez, who bounces one down the right field line, a fair ball. And Salvi takes the first pitch the opposite way and leads off the top of the third with a single. And Salvi, knowing that this is probably going to be his last appearance in the World Baseball Classic, you know how much he wants to win. So now the lineup flips over. I shouldn't say flip over yet because Jackson Chourio stands in and takes a slider right down the middle. It snowballs and 1 strike. It felt like he was sitting on a fastball right there and decided to take a pitch. As here comes the 0-1 from McLean. Fastball catches the outside part of the zone. It snowballs and 2 strikes. So Chourio is 3 for 12 in the World Baseball Classic. And you kind of get the feeling that he was sitting fastball on the first pitch, but sitting off speed on the second. I feel like McLean's got him in knots right here. And Chourio is just going to take a second to try and loosen his batting gloves up and look for something he can hit because he got fooled big time on the last 2 pitches. Here comes the 0-2. Struck him out! And just as I said that he was fooled on the first 2 pitches, he was massively fooled on the third one as he swings and misses at a slider that had tremendous amount of movement. 1 down in the third. That is one of the nastiest sliders you will see. Holy cow. And now Acuna comes back up with 1 down on the top of the third. He's already got a single to his credit in this game as he takes a fastball high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, talk about breaking the ice. Acuna took the first pitch of the ball game and sent it back up the middle into center field for a single. And this time around, he takes a sinker at 97 on the inside corner. It's 1-1 strike. And you can tell Acuna is in the zone right now. He's looking for something that he can hit. Well, he hit it, but he swings and fouls, tips it back into the catcher's mitt. It's 1-2 strikes. I have a feeling McLean this year at the Mets is going to be an absolute sensation on the mound. Another in a long line of great young Mets pitchers. 1-2. And he tried to get Acuna to chase it, a changeup downstairs, but it's 2 strikes. And this will be a matchup that you will see a lot during the baseball season, especially since it'll be Mets versus Braves a lot. 2-2 pitch, popped up, right side, and it will go into the back section of the lower deck. Gets 2 strikes still. Perez at first, 1 down, scoreless, top of the third inning. And the 2-2 pitch, ooh, look out. It was right down the middle. There was no really intention of hitting him, but he missed it high. It's 3 strikes. So Michael Garcia on deck for Venezuela in the third. Payoff pitch coming. Upstairs, ball 4. It's 2 on with 1 out. McLean tried to go for the knockout pitch, but he missed it just a bit high of the strike zone. And now Michael Garcia's got a golden opportunity to deliver the first blow of the ball game. He grounded into a double play his first time up. And he takes a slider right down the middle. It's no balls and 1 strike. McLean is already now at 30 pitches. He only had 5 in the first inning. And Venezuela right now is making him work as he throws a fastball at 97 but misses on the outside. It's 1-1. 1-1 coming. Here's the pitch. Popped up to the first base side, but into the stands. It's 1-2 strikes. Perez at second, Acuna at first. 1 out. And DeRosa is probably thinking right now, we have got to get out of this. 1-2 coming. It gets away, and the runners are going to move up. McLean tried to use the same approach that he used when he struck out Chirrillo for the first out, but it backfires, and it's now runners at second and third. So not only can a base hit give Venezuela a 1-0 lead, they could also jump up 2-0 with how fast Acuna runs at second. And here's the 2-2. And there's a drive into left center field. That ball's going to be caught out there by Buxton, but it'll be deep enough to score Perez. Throw to third is not in time. Venezuela strike first on top 1-0. And wait a minute. Wait a second. What just happened? Oh, the score graphic, they thought that Acuna was tagged out. Let's see. I think he was safe. So he was safe, and the inning is still going on. I think the box score messed up as McLean fires in a strike to Marias. It's 0-1. Marias popped out to center his first time up as he hits one foul on a backdoor slider. It's 0-2. Smith, Terrain, and Buxton up for USA in the bottom of the third. And Arias would love to give Eduardo Rodriguez a 2-run lead to work with if he can. And that would be huge, especially with how much talent the USA has in that lineup. Here comes the 0-2. Swinging a bouncing ball, hit to Terang at second. He throws to Harper, in time, inning over. But Venezuela takes the early lead on a sacrifice fly from Michael Garcia. It's 1-0 going to the bottom of the third. So we're back in Miami. It is 1-0 Venezuela going to the bottom of the third. And if Team USA can't come through against this pitching staff, Mark DeRosa will be fielding a lot of questions, especially from those salty Marylanders, about why he didn't play Gunnar Henderson. So here comes Will Smith to lead it off as he takes a cutter high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. So Smith, Terang, and Buxton, 7, 8, 9 due up in the third. As Smith takes a pitch on the outside, it's 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 coming to Smith. Here it is. And he hits a high pop-up back behind third. Tovar and Garcia get called off by Abreu, who makes the catch, 1 down. It looked for a second that either Garcia or Tovar was going to have a play on it, but then Abreu's like, I got it. So now here comes Bryce Terang with nobody on and 1 down in the third inning as the Americans are looking for their first base run of the ball game. Here comes the first pitch. And Terang takes a fastball low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the 1-0 from Rodriguez. Swinging a bouncing ball into right field for a base hit. So there's the first hit of the ball game for Team USA, and it comes off the bat of Bryce Terang as he lined it right past the diving Luis Arias. So now with the 1-out base runner, You get the feeling that Byron Buxton is going to be looking for something he can drive in the gap. First pitch coming from Rodriguez. Here it is. And Buxton takes a high changeup that just catches the zone. It's 0-1. So Buxton is 0 for 6 in the World Baseball Classic. He does have an RBI, though, on a sac fly. But let's see what he can do now in search of his first hit. And the 0-1 is taken up high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Buxton hit 35 home runs, knocked in 83 last year for the Twins, scoring 97 runs in the process. And the pickoff move goes to first as Terang is able to get back in there. Well, Terang with his wheels over there at first base could be very tough to throw out on the bases. And normally Team USA is known as a power hitting team. It wouldn't surprise me if they went for a steal to try and get an easier opportunity to score. And the 1-1 is a fastball that jams the inside corner but misses. It's 2-1. So through the first 2 innings, Rodriguez was cool and controlled, but now the Americans are starting to threaten. And here's his 2-1. Swing and a miss. He blew that 4-seam fastball right by him. It's 2-2. Well, Erod may not have the same kind of velocity as a lot of the top pitchers in the game. I know he's not what he once was, but he still can blow it right by you, especially if you're sitting on an off-speed pitch. Or in this case, a cutter. 2-2 coming. Got him. He made him go fishing at a changeup that was just outside of the strike zone. It's 2 down. And that pitch had a lot of late movement. It was like boom. As Buxton is retired with 2 down in the third, that's going to set up Bobby Witt Jr. as the lineup flips over. He had a first pitch fly out to Jackson Chourio to start the bottom of the first as he takes a pitch right on the outside corner. It's 0-1. The 0-1 coming to Witt, with Terang getting his lead at first with 2 down. Swinging a high drive, center field, but playable. Chourio has it, makes the catch just shy of the track, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left on, 1-0 Venezuela after 3. On to the top of the fourth we go as Venezuela leads 1-0 over the Americans. As Nolan McLean is going out for his fourth inning of work. He's given up 1 run on 3 hits and a base on balls, but has struck out 3. As now he will face Eugenio Suarez to lead it off in the top of the fourth. Suarez struck out his first time up, and right away he takes a fastball down the middle at 98. It's 0-1. Suarez, Gleyber Torres, and Ezequiel Tovar will be up for Venezuela in the fourth. And he tried to get Suarez to go fishing at a slider on the outside. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch coming to Suarez. Swing and a miss with a sinker at 96. It's 1-2. He's mixed his pitches well, especially that fastball and the slider. Let's see what he comes back with on a 1-2 pitch. Just a bit outside. He tried the outside corner and missed. It's 2-2. Great ball framing by Will Smith, but the home plate umpire is like, nah, you're not getting it. 2-2. Check swing. Did he go around? I believe the answer is no. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. And with Gleyber Torres on deck, you just get the feeling that McLean cannot have any early base runners against him. Payoff pitch. And it is fouled off his body. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes still. Let's see what's going to happen here with Nolan McLean. 3-2 pitch coming. And another foul tip. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes still. So this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Here it comes. Bouncing ball, hit to second. Terang has it, cleanly fields it, throws on to Harper. Got him, it's 1 down. As you can see, there's the winner of the game Sunday night, Paul Skeens, standing here in the dugout taking this all in. He got a lot of backlash on social media for going bonkers over Team USA, but not over him winning the Cy Young Award this past year. Although from my perspective, which I personally agree with, Skeens is more of a team player than an guy who prefers individual honors. And it wouldn't surprise me if he wants out of the Pirates if they don't turn it around. The 0-1 pitch from McLean is swung on and missed. It's no balls and 2 strikes. And it feels like Eugenio Suarez took that fastball right off his shin. And he's clearly in pain, as you just saw on the TV screen. The 0-2 pitch is outside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He was once again going for the Fisher, but he missed it. 1-2 coming from McLean. Strike 3 down looking. He got a favorable backwards K, his 4th strikeout of the night, and it's 2 down. And let's see, that ball is just on the outside part of the strike zone. It misses just a little bit, but Will Smith is able to give it a nice pitch frame, and the umpire is like, hey, I'll take it. 2 down. So here comes Tovar, who singled in the 2nd inning his first time up. And he'd like to add on to his hot stretch in this tournament. He's hitting .500 in the World Baseball Classic. That's gaudy stuff. 1-0 is popped high in the air. And it is caught by Harper out there towards the first base dugout. And that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. After 3.5, it's still 1-0. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning in Miami as Bryce Harper is set to lead it off against Eduardo Rodriguez. He's only given up 1 hit in the first 3 innings, but with the middle of the order coming up for Team USA, you kind of get the feeling that they'll get their opportunity and pounce on it, if they can. First pitch coming from Rodriguez to start it out in the bottom of the 4th. And Harper swings and misses at a cutter at 89. It snowballs in 1 strike. The thing about this game for Team USA is they're going up against a completely different style of pitcher in the sense that it's a craftsman kind of guy, a guy who doesn't throw as hard as the league average. As Harper takes a sinker on the inside, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Rodriguez is 1-1 on the way. And Harper bounces it right to second base. Fielded by Torres. He throws over to Arias, 1 down. And that was a screamer right off that bat. And Gleyber Torres fielded it cleanly, even though he almost got trampled over by trying to field the ball. I mean, sometimes that happens. And now here comes Aaron Judge. First pitch coming from Rodriguez. And he tries to throw a changeup in there, but Judge takes it. It's 1-0. So Judge struck out on a pitch that was just like that back in the first inning. And he's open for a better result right here. As he fouls one off, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. You get the feeling that one big swing of the bat from Team USA can get them right back in the game. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. Judge hits a high fly ball, popped up. Can Arias get there? No, he cannot. Just out of his reach, it's 1-2. Judge led all American League hitters last year with a .331 batting average. Good enough for his 2nd consecutive and 3rd MVP overall. The only thing that's missing on his resume is a World Series championship, and he knows he's going to go for it. 1-2 pitch, he struck him out. Second time tonight that Rodriguez has struck out Judge on a changeup. It's 2 down. And that was the same pitch, actually, but a little bit further to the right side of the plate. And that'll set up Schwarber with 2 down and nobody on. And the curveball just misses the outside corner. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Abreu, Perez, and Chirrillo will be up for Venezuela in the top of the 5th. And the 1-0 is taken on the outside on a cutter. It's 2-0. I mean, most of the time, Rodriguez has either been 1-1 or 0-2. Like, it seems like he's been ahead of the count most of the nights. And here comes the 2-0. Ooh, first time tonight he's faced a 3 balls and no strike situation. As Schwarber takes the cutter on the outside, it's 3-0. With Alex Bregman on deck, you kind of get the feeling that Team USA is looking for something. 3-0, and he missed it outside, ball 4. Only the second base runner of the game for the Americans through the first 4 innings, as now Bregman will get a chance to bat with 2 down in the 4th. And there is already action in the bullpen for Venezuela. First pitch coming to Bregman. Changeup catches the bottom part of the zone. It's no balls and 1 strike. Bregman grounded out his first time up, looking for a better result here. He's batting only 167 in the World Baseball Classic. And the 0-1 is taken high, but out of the zone. It's the 1-1. Will Mark DeRosa prove his second guessers wrong? I guess we're going to find out right here. Here comes a 1-1. And Bregman nearly gets drilled with a fastball on the inside part of the plate. It's 2-1. It's been quiet for Team USA for most of the game, but that could all change with 1 swing of the bat. Here comes a 2-1. And it's fouled back to the screen. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Rodriguez is 1 pitch away from getting out of the bottom of the 4th inning with 4 scoreless frames to his credit. Two on the way. Nope, never mind. He's going to try and pick off Schwarber at first, but he gets back in there safely. Two coming to Bregman. Bouncing ball up the middle, fielded by Tovar. Underhand, flipped the 2nd inning over. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. After 4 innings, it's still 1-0 Venezuela. So on to the top of the fifth we go, as Nolan McLean now enters his fifth inning of work, as he will face the bottom of the order, starting with Wilmer Abreu, 7-8-9, as he takes a pitch in the outside corner. It's no balls and one strike. So Abreu popped out in the second, trying to improve on that as he hits a high drive, center field, going back out at his Buxton, looking up. That ball is gone. Home run, Wilmer Abreu. He got a fastball right down the middle of the plate, and he took it 414 feet. Just what Team USA didn't want to have happen has just happened. That's probably the only mistake he's made all game, and Abreu continues to add on to what has been an outstanding World Baseball Classic. As Perez takes a slider inside, it's 1 ball, no strikes. As we mentioned earlier, he hit the grand slam against Japan that put them out of their misery in the quarterfinals. And now he gives Eduardo Rodriguez a 2-run cushion. Here comes the 1-1 to Perez, and Salvi almost gets drilled by a sinker at 96. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1. Slider misses the bottom of the zone. It's 3-1. Three one coming on its way to Perez. Swinging a bouncing ball foul. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. And you can already tell that DeRosa already has that deer in the headlights look. He's like, oh, great. He's like, oh, no. 3-2 pitch, hit in the air. Shallow center field where Buxton makes the catch. It's 1 down. And like we said, fastball right down the middle. And Abreu was all over that to straightaway center field. And the Venezuelan crowd is going bonkers. And now here comes Jackson Chourio, who struck out his first time up as he swings and misses at a slider at 0-1. And he struck out on a pitch that was just like that. And I wonder if McLean's going to go right back to it. He does and gets the same result. It's 0 balls and 2 strikes. The last 3 pitches that Chourio has seen, he has gone down on a slider. He's getting encouragement from his teammates in the dugout, and McLean tries to throw a backdoor sinker, which misses the spot. It's 1-2. And there is Miguel Cabrera, former World Series champion with the Marlins, as Chourio hits a high pop-up to Bryce Turang at second, makes the catch, 2 down. So Miggy won a World Series in his rookie year with the Marlins in 2003. And then he went on to the Detroit Tigers, where he became a Hall of Fame caliber player, over 500 career home runs. And meanwhile, that's going to do it for Nolan McLean. 4 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 2 runs on 4 hits. And let's see if the U.S. bullpen can hold that up for him. I wonder if that'll work out. So that'll do it for Nolan McLean after 4 2/3 innings pitched at 63 pitches in total. And a new pitcher into the ball game now is the right-handed Brad Keller, who will come in to try and hold this 2-0 game right where it is. As Ronald Acuna comes in, and he takes the sinker downstairs, it's 1-0. I get why DeRosa doesn't want McLean out there, especially since this would be the third time through the order. And Acuna bounces it up the middle. Witt's got it, throws onto first, and a bang-bang play by Witt, and Harper retires Acuna, and the inning is over. But Wilmer Abreu continues his outstanding WBC as he takes Nolan McLean deep. It's 2-0 going to the bottom of the fifth. So on we go to the bottom of the fifth inning in a 2-0 game as Venezuela leads the United States. And Roman Anthony will be set to lead it off in the U.S. half of the fifth, down 2-0. 6, 7, 8 coming up against Eduardo Rodriguez, who is now in his fifth inning of work. And here comes the first pitch on the way. As Anthony takes a fastball on the outside corner, it's no balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 coming to Anthony. Here it is. And he tries to throw that same four-seamer on the outside corner, but high. It's 1-1. Omar Lopez's bunch trying to hold on to a slim cushion. As Rodriguez fires in a four-seamer that misses, it's 2-1. And there's already action in that bullpen as you got the righty warming up, and I have a feeling that Gunnar Henderson will be coming into the game not too long from now. As Anthony swings and misses, it's 2-2. The only reason, as I mentioned, why DeRosa started Alex Bregman is because they were facing a lefty. Here comes the 2-2. And he misses on a cutter. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Roman Anthony. Will Smith on deck for Team USA with nobody out in the fifth. Looking for a tone setter to this inning right here. Payoff pitch, here it comes. Swinging a bouncing ball, hit to second. Torres has it, throws over to Reyes, one down. And here comes Lopez out of the dugout, and that's going to do it for Eduardo Rodriguez. So right now it's going to become a bullpen game. And oh boy, get set for some drama. The score is 2-0, but after the way Eduardo Rodriguez has pitched tonight, it's going to be hard to top. But once again, this is all analytics. It is all analytics. So Eduardo Rodriguez is done after 4 1/3 innings pitch. He gives up one hit with one walk and 4 strikeouts. Personally, I would have kept him in the game. And the first pitch to Will Smith is a slider. And the new pitcher in the game is Edward Bizardo, who's pitched 2 2/3 innings pitched already in this tournament. Let's see what he can do here. And the 0-1 is taken outside on a sinker. It's 1-1. This is a second guesser decision if there was one right here, especially with the way Rodriguez has pitched. God, I love these analytical managers. And Smith swings and misses, or I should say he fouls one back. It's 1-2. Although the last couple games, Venezuela's bullpen, 14 innings, no runs allowed. Will they be able to keep it up right here? 1-2. It is up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He tried to throw a sinker to get him to fish at it, but Smith wasn't having it. Bizardo's 2-2. Swing and a foul tip into the stands. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes another 2-2. Strike 3 down looking. Got him with a slider just on the outside part of the zone. It's 2 down. You got to give Omar Lopez confidence. He's got, I should say credit, because he's got a lot of confidence in that bullpen. And rightfully so. As here comes Bryce Terang now as the only hit of the game for Team USA. And he swings and misses at a sinker. It's no balls and 1 strike. And the 0-1 is outside of the sinker. It's 1-1. Garcia, Arias, and Suarez will be up for Venezuela in the top of the 6th. 1-1 coming to Terang. Right down the middle of the sinker. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The U.S. really hasn't gotten many opportunities to hit. They've just been, they've taken way too many hittable pitches so far. And this one is fouled back to the screen. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Terang. You can tell that third base dugout is looking for something, anything, against the pitching staff that so far over the last few games has done nothing but held their opponents scoreless in the later innings. And it wouldn't be no different right here. One, two. Tries to throw a slider to get Terang to chase, but he wasn't going to have it. It's 2-2. Wonder what Bizardo does right here. Does he go back to his fastball, or does he try to throw a slider? Here it is, 2-2. Bouncing ball hit to Torres at second and into the mini shifted infield. Throws over to first in time, inning over. So through 5 innings, Venezuela leads 2-0. And will that vaunted bullpen hold up this lead? I don't know, but it's looking good on their side. So we're back in Miami going into the top of the 6th inning. As Brad Keller now is in his 2nd inning of work for Team USA. As he's going to try and hold it down against the heart of the Venezuela order. And I have a feeling if they can't win tonight, Mark DeRosa will be getting memed to death by the majority of the Baltimore area for not starting Gunnar Henderson. Here comes the first offering on the way to Michael Garcia. He takes a fastball in the outside corner. It's 0-1. 0-1 is hit in the air to center field. Buxton in his tracks makes the catch. 1 down. So you can tell that Venezuela is looking for any kind of insurance runs right here. Especially with that vaunted bullpen of theirs. And now here comes Arias, who is 0 for 2 with a flyout and ground out so far. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not, says the third base umpire. It's 1 ball and no strikes. What oh pitch coming from Keller. Swing and a fly ball, shallow center field. Buxton out there. Makes the catch. 2 down. So far, 3 outs on 6 pitches recorded by Brad Keller so far. Not too shabby if you ask me. But now he's going to deal with Eugenio Suarez, who struck out his last time up. As he bounces one foul, it's 0-1. Buxton, Witt, and Harper will be up for the Americans in the bottom of the 6th. Keller's 0-1 pitch. As Suarez lines one foul at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's very possible that Keller could get through this inning while being below the 10-pitch mark. And that's exactly going to be the case. Strike 3 called on a slider on the high part of the zone, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Team USA comes to bat in the bottom of the 6th, down by 2. Back in Miami as we go to the bottom of the 6th in the championship game of the World Baseball Classic. A new pitcher into the game for Venezuela. It's Jose Buto, as he will face Pete Crow Armstrong to lead it off in the bottom of the 6th. PCA is coming in to pinch hit for Byron Buxton. And he's trying to get a U.S. offense out of a mess that is 8 for their last 49 with 20 strikeouts in their last 2 games. Hoping he can change that with 1 swing of the bat. So not only did they not start Gunnar Henderson, they didn't start PCA. As PCA stands in and takes a sinker on the high part of the zone, it's 0-1. 9-1-2 up for the Americans in the 6th inning as they try to erase a 2-run deficit. Here comes the 0-1. Circled change, misses outside. It's 1-1. Buto's 1-1 pitch on the way to PCA. Swinging a high drive, but shallow into left field as Abreu makes the catch, battling the lights. It's 1 down. So really, outside of the Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony home runs, Team USA hasn't done anything meaningful at the plate. This has been their whole strategy. This tournament has been live and die by the long ball, and it's been biting them right here. First pitch from Budo to Bobby Witt Jr. right down the middle and in the bottom part of the plate. It's 0-1. Buto's 0-1 coming to Bobby Witt. He tries to throw a slider in there, but he misses with it. It's 1-1. Witt is 0 for 2 in the ball game so far. And is 0 for his last 6. Here comes a 1-1. Popped up. Right side of the infield. Arias near the dugout makes the catch, 2 down. And Mark DeRosa's got to be nervous. As I've said before, if Team USA loses this game, he's getting memed to death. Especially for not playing Gunnar Henderson. And now Bryce Harper stands in with 2 down. I feel like DeRosa in some ways hates the Oriole players. Like Gunnar Henderson being on the roster, but he left for not playing, but also he left Adley Rutschman off the roster for Will Smith, although Will Smith deservedly made the roster. As Buto falls behind Harper, it's 2 balls and no strikes. I mean, if this were a couple years ago, he probably does play Rutschman, but I don't think he would have because of anti-Baltimore bias. Let's not forget, Mark DeRosa is an analyst on MLB Central, which is the morning show on MLB Network. So for those that are tuning in, I recommend you watch that show to hear some baffling takes that he's made. Not necessarily, I mean, he at least is, methodical, because like MLB Network, a lot of their analysts actually know what they're doing, but sometimes he goes a little too far. But that happens to any analyst to believe that. 3-0 pitch to Bryce Harper, right down the middle by Buto. It's 3-1. Torres, Tovar, and Abreu will be 2 up for Venezuela in the top of the 7th. Here comes a 3-1. Harper line drive into right field, a base hit into the corner. It'll be fielded by Acuna near the warning track as Harper will stop at first. So there's the 2-out single that the Americans have been looking for, and that'll set the stage for Aaron Judge. Can he get Team USA out of the massive hitting slump they're in right now? And if he does, what a momentum shift that could be. Buto's first offering. Slider misses downstairs. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Buto's 1-0. Judge takes a slider that was on the same part of the plate that he missed on. It's 2-0. He's looking for one pitch that he can knock out of the park. Judge is at 285 home runs since 2019, by far the most in the majors. Is this a big out right here for Venezuela if they can get out of this? But Judge is looking for something he can pop. Buto's 2-0 delivery on the way. Here it is. Oh, he tempted him with a slider, and Judge decided not to lay on it. It's 2-1. That was right on the hittable part of the plate, and he didn't want to take a swing. 2-1. Missed it with a slider. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. And Kyle Schwarber is standing in the on-deck circle for Team USA if this inning were to go any further. Harper at first with 2 down in the 6th. Budos 3-1. Judge takes it right down the middle. It's 3-2. Oh, he could have drove that thing. Oh, boy. Is this tension or what? Three-two pitch coming from Buto. Harper goes from first. Swinging a bouncing ball to third. Played cleanly by Garcia. Throw to first in time. Inning over. And Buto is all fired up as he should be, as Venezuela's lead is 2-0 going to the top of the 7th. Ho-ho, doctor! So back in Miami as we go to the top of the 7th. As Gleyber Torres stands in to lead it off as he swings and misses, it snowballs and 2 strikes. And a new pitcher into the ball game for Team USA is Will Vest, who had a 6-5 record last year with the Detroit Tigers. The 0-2 pitch is outside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch. He struck him out. Got him fishing with a slider, and it's 1 down in the top of the 7th. He tried to go fishing at a slider, but he's like, I'm not gonna get it. Well, that happens. At least you're not alone. So 1 down in the 7th, and that's gonna bring up Ezekiel Tovar, who's now hitting just under 500. I mean, he was hitting 500 the last time he was up, but he grounded out. Let's see what he does here for an encore. The 0-1 from Vest nearly hits him with a sinker. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch coming to Tovar. Here's the pitch from Vest. Swinging a line shot into left center field for a base hit. So Tovar gets his second into the ball game, both a single. And let's see if that batting average is to over 500 again. Wait for it. Wait for it. When's that? Yep. His batting average is back to 500. What a tournament he is having, and the same can be said about the guy who's standing in the batter's box next in Wilmer Abreu, who has already gone deep in this ball game. And Abreu takes the first pitch just a bit outside. It's 1-0. So he hit a bullet to straightaway center field his first time up. And let's see what he does here. Abreu takes a pitch downstairs on a slider. It's 2 balls and no strikes. One out, Tovar at first. Venezuela trying to add on to its 2-0 lead. Pickoff move to first as Tovar is able to get back in there. Two-0 coming. Abreu fouls it off. It's 2-1. Vest was trying to throw the backdoor slider, and he missed with it, but luckily it didn't hurt him. Well, if Team USA is going to come back in this ball game, they're going to need to mount a rally against the vaunted bullpen. 2-1. Hit in the air, foul down the left field line. And Abreu's looking at, from my perspective right now, he's trying to get another one out of the ballpark. Especially if Vest misses one on the heart of the plate. Here comes the 2-2. Check swing roller. Bregman fields it, throws to first, barely gets him. It's 2 down as Tovar advances to second. And you can tell right now that the Americans are looking for it down the left field line. Fair ball! Never mind. I thought it was a fair ball for a second, but the third base umpire says no mas as Salvi Perez lined one into the left field corner. And that first base dugout was going to erupt, as was a good chunk of the crowd. So Salvi has already singled in this ball game and scored a run on a sac fly from Michael Garcia back in the third. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase with a slider. It's 0-2. Schwarber, Bregman, and Roman Anthony will be due up for Team USA in the bottom of the 7th as they try to overcome a 2-run deficit. The 0-2. Perez looping fly ball, shallow left coming on his. Judge makes the catch. And the inning is over. Stretch time in Miami. The score is still 2-0. Back in Miami, bottom of the 7th. USA trailing Venezuela 2-0. And a scene has just emerged from the third base dugout. Paul Skeens could be getting loose out there. As right now, a few pitching defensive alignments for Venezuela. Andres Jimenez comes in to play second base. And Angel Zerpa will come in to pitch for Venezuela as he'll face Kyle Schwarber to lead it off. And Schwarber takes a sinker on the outside corner at 97. It's 0-1. I tell you, I bet you any money that Omar Lopez is worried about Gunnar Henderson potentially coming into the game. The 0-1 to Schwarber is missed outside on a slider. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the U.S. are beginning to run out of outs. Trying to turn this thing around. Here comes the 1-1. Sinker catches the outside part of the zone. It's 1-2. I wonder if the Venezuela fans are doing the tomahawk chop every time it's a 2-strike count. They've got to be doing something. It's got to be similar to that. 1-2 misses barely. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. He struck him out. Blew the sinker right by him. It's 1 down. You know what? I think you're right. The next time we go to a 2-strike count, the tomahawk chop has got to be coming out. So now Alex Bregman stands in his 0 for 2 in the ball game so far. Zerpa's 1-0 pitch on the way. It is up high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch coming. Just missed it high. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. He tried to go for a fastball on the high part of the zone, but missed. Zerpa's 2-1 coming to Bregman. And he missed it outside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Roman Anthony in the on-deck circle for Team USA. "3-1. Bouncing ball, played over there by Garcia, throwed long, throw, got him. So Garcia guns down Bregman, and it's 2 down in the 7th. And the last time US had a runner in scoring position, it was the 4th inning against the Dominican Republic. Since then, they haven't gotten anything going. And now Roman Anthony stands in with 2 down in the 7th. First pitch down the middle of the slider. It's no balls and 1 strike. So Anthony has grounded out twice tonight. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. And here comes the 0-1. Ooh, he tried to beat him on that one, or try to dust him off at the very least. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 to Anthony. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he didn't. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. "2-1 coming to Anthony. Misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. The catcher, Will Smith, stands in the on-deck circle if this inning were to go any further. Team USA so far has been held to just 2 hits. 3-1 just misses inside. And the Americans will have a 2-out base runner coming up for Will Smith. And here comes Omar Lopez to the mound. He wants the righty. And with that, yep, that's going to do it for Vason. Yep. So a new pitcher into the ball game for Venezuela. It's the right-hander Andres Machado. as he will face Will Smith with 2 down and a runner at first in the 7th. First pitch. Ooh! He tried to jam him with the sinker. It hits him, but he swings and misses. It's 0-1. Anthony at first with 2 down on the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch from Machado. Right down the middle, it's strike 2. And you already know what's coming. The Venezuelan fans are like, Yep. They're chopping all right. Here comes the 0-2. Swinging a high pop-up. Back behind first base. Jimenez calls off. Arias makes the catch and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on. Going to the top of the 8th. Still 2-0 Venezuela. So back in Miami, top of the 8th inning, Venezuela leads Team USA 2-0. Griffin Jack's now into the game for Team USA to try and keep the score right where it is, going to the bottom of the 8th. A very fast-paced game. The first pitch was at 8:20, and right now it is 10:14 Eastern Time. Like how there's that new pitch clock rule. It speeds up the game much quicker. So Jackson Churio stands in to lead it off in the top of the 8th as he takes a slider right down the middle. It's 0-1. Churio, Acuna, and Garcia, 9-1-2 up for Venezuela in the 8th. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss at a slider. It snowballs and 2 strikes. The 0-2 coming from Jax. Got him. 3 consecutive sliders, and he blew them all right past Churio. 1 down in the 8th. So here comes Acuna, who singled and walked in this game, trying to add on to a 2-run lead. And he takes a slider on the outside part of the plate. It's 1 ball, all and no strikes. 1-0 coming from Jax. Swinging a bouncing ball. Witt fields it cleanly. Throws to first. In time. 2 down. A nice play by Bobby Witt Jr. He was able to react to it just in time in order to not fall for the slow chopper as well as Acuna's speed. And now that's going to set up Michael Garcia, who drove in the first run of the ball game with a sac fly back in the third. First pitch fastball right down the middle. It's 0-1. Terang, PCA, and Bobby Witt Jr. will be due up for Team USA in the bottom of the 8th. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball tries to get the outside corner but can't. It's 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. Swinging a high pop-up. Smith right behind the chute. Makes the catch and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Still 2-0 after 7.5. So on we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Venezuela leading Team USA 2-0. As Andres Machado is in his 2nd inning of work, it appears. And he will face Bryce Terang to lead it off. And Terang takes it right down the middle. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 0-1 on the way to Terang. Swinging a foul ball to the left side. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 0-2. Struck him out. Changeup gets him right down the middle. It's 1 down in the bottom of the 8th. And now here comes P. Crow Armstrong with one down as he swings and pops it foul towards the third base dugout. One of the most talented lineups in the World Baseball Classic, if not the most talented lineup in the World Baseball Classic, held to just 2 hits. The 0-1 coming from Machado. Here it is. Swinging a bouncing ball. This will be a tough play. Jimenez underhand flip. Got him 2 down. So now Andres Machado is 1 out away from getting Venezuela to the 9th inning with at least a 2-run lead. But he's going to have to deal with Bobby Witt Jr. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball just misses the outside corner. It's 0-1. Witt has flown out twice and fouled out in this game. Trying to improve on that as instantly as he can. Here comes a 1-0. Sinker inside, misses 2-0. Witt's 2. Here comes the 2-0. And he misses outside, 3 balls and no strikes. As Bryce Harper stands in the on-deck circle, if this inning were to go any further, you have the feeling that if the U.S. can get a 2-out base runner, the momentum could play a shift. 3-0. And he walks him on 4 pitches, and that'll bring up Harper. And now the tying run will come to the plate for Team USA. They have been struggling all night against Venezuela pitching. And the Venezuela bullpen has not allowed a run in their last 18 innings. And Yohan Santana, a former Cy Young winner with the Minnesota Twins, who's the pitching coach, he's out to the mound. And they've got both of their top guns in the bullpen warming up right now. And you can tell that this could be analytics to the bone from how I see it if Harper gets on right here. Here comes the first pitch. Change up downstairs, it's 1-0. The USA crowd in Miami has been quiet for most of the night. And as of right now, they're not quiet anymore. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Machado. Harper in the air, right center field. This ball's got a chance. Goodbye, tie game! Bryce Harper with one of the biggest swings in American World Baseball Classic history. He ties the game with 2 outs, 2-run home run. Go to war, Miss Agnes. Are you kidding me? Bryce Harper, who had been batting under 200 for the entire WBC, ties it up at 2 apiece. And the vaunted Venezuelan bullpen has finally been taken down. Oh! This is very reminiscent of Game 5 of the 2022 National League Championship Series, where Harper hit a 2-run homer to send the Phillies to the World Series in the bottom of the 8th. Tonight, he ties the game with a 2-run homer off Andres Machado. And now here comes Aaron Judge, who takes a slider up high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. I feel like every major sports pub in America is going completely berserk right now because they were dead silent for most of the game, and then that happens. Here comes the 1-0. Judge fouls it off. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. I thought for a second that ball was going to stay in the park, especially with the way that Jackson Churio reacted to it. I thought that was going to stay in there, but it just kept going and going, and it left the ballpark, and I was like, wow, what a moment. And that completely changes the trajectory of this game. 1-1 coming to Aaron Judge. Swing and a miss. He gets to the changeup. It's 1-2. And the tomahawk chop is coming from the Venezuela fans again. And Salvi's going to call time. Harper has made a living on clutch home runs in his career with the Nationals and the Phillies. And now with Team USA, he may have delivered the biggest hit in their World Baseball Classic history. Keyword is as of right now. We don't know what's going to happen the rest of the game. Maybe Judge could follow it up right here. Here comes the 1-2. Strike 3 down looking. Judge gets called down on strikes, but the damage is done as Bryce Harper's 2-run home run ties the game, and it'll set the stage for the 9th inning in the championship game of the World Baseball Classic. Stay tuned. All right. What more can you ask for? 2-2 tie, top of the 9th inning. Championship game of the World Baseball Classic. A new pitcher into the game for Team USA. It's the right-hander Garrett Whitlock coming in for the Americans. And he will face the heart of the Venezuelan order. Luis Arias stands in. He's 0 for 3 so far. And Arias nearly gets drilled with a slider. It's 1-0. 3, 4, and 5. Arias, Suarez, and Jimenez up for Venezuela. Here comes the 1-0, and he misses up high. It's 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch is right down the middle with a sinker. It's 2-1. If Team USA comes back and wins this game, this would be the definition of getting bailed out by high-end talent. And the 2-1 is up high. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. If there's one thing you don't want to do if you're Team USA, especially after those heroics, it's get the leadoff man on for the middle of the order. 3-1. Just missed it outside, and the leadoff man is on for Venezuela, as Arias takes that trot down to first. So Eugenio Suarez now comes to the plate for Venezuela. He is 0 for 3 in the ballgame tonight. Looking for something he can get in the alley and drive home the runner from first. First pitch coming to Suarez, misses outside with a slider. It's 1-0. So it looks like Luis Arias has been taken out of the ballgame for a pinch runner. And if this game goes into extra innings, it would not surprise me if Paul Skeens comes into the game for Team USA. And he would be doing so on 1-day rest. But that didn't stop Yamamoto from pitching on no day's rest in Game 7 of the World Series last year. Pickoff moves to first, and Sahoya gets back in there. Whitlock's 1-0 pitch coming to Suarez. Here it is. Swing and a miss at a sinker. It looked like a high fastball right in his wheelhouse, but he was late on it. It's 1-1. Here comes the pitch. The pitch is inside the throw. Not in time. Sonoya steals second base, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position. And is Mark DeRosa going to challenge it? I don't think he is. Ooh, that's close. Let's see. Oh, his foot just stayed on the bag. And Team USA is going to challenge this call. I mean, they haven't used their challenge yet, but go ahead. Go ahead, use it. And I don't think there's enough evidence to overturn the call. That's close. That is super close. I think tie goes to the runner. Ooh. This is close. And the call stands. The runner is safe. Oh, Venezuela comes back and wins this. DeRosa will get memed to death. And rightfully so. He's got the John Harbaugh poopy face. 2-1 count coming to Eugenio Suarez. Swing and a miss and a changeup. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Noah gets his lead from second. Swinging a high pop up, but foul into the stands. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes still. Now, what do you do if you're able to get Suarez out? Do you intentionally walk Jimenez to face Ezequiel Tovar? That might be in consideration. 2-2. Up high, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. But before he even gets to that situation, he's got to focus on getting Suarez out right here. Jimenez on deck, runner at second. Payoff pitch in the air, left center field. That ball's going to get down. It's going to go all the way to the warning track. 1 runner comes in to score, and Venezuela retakes the lead at 3-2. Santa Maria. And it looks like the second-guess decision by Mark DeRosa to not put in Paul Skeens is going to come back to bite him. Wow, just when Bryce Harper hits the game-tying home run, Venezuela immediately answers. Talk about a change of momentum. Holy cow. And now here comes Jimenez, who's going to try to lay a bunt down, but he holds off and takes it on the high part of the plate. It's 0-1. Jimenez is 1 for 8 in the World Baseball Classic to this point. And the pitch is swung on and missed. It snowballs and 2 strikes. The 0-2 coming. Jimenez lines one foul, played by Harper, but to no avail. The 0-2 coming to Jimenez. Whitlock's delivery. Swing and a foul ball towards the left field stands and into the screen. It's still 0-2. Venezuela trying to add on to its 1-run lead in the ninth is another foul ball off the bat of Jimenez. It's still 0-2. Man, this kind of game can take a toll on you, regardless of which side you're rooting for. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Popped up again, foul again, still 0-2. This is some at bat that Andres Jimenez is putting together. Suarez at second, with nobody out in a 3-2 game in the top of the ninth. The 0-2 pitch misses up high. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Suarez gets his lead from second. Here comes the 1-2. Swinging a pop fly, shallow left. Anthony makes the catch for out number 1. And that's going to bring up Tovar, and here comes DeRosa out to the mound. And that's probably going to do it for Whitlock. Who's he going to bring in right now? We're about to find out in a moment. So now Tyler Rogers will come into the game for Team USA to try and keep this game right where it is. As Ezekiel Tovar stands in and gets ahead in the count, it's 1 ball and no strikes. He's 2 for 3 in the ball game with 2 singles to his credit. Here comes the 1-0. And a sinker catches the outside corner. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. One coming. Swinging a high pop-up. First base side. Terang back behind second makes the catch. 2 down in the 9th. And that'll bring up Abreu, who's already gone deep in the ball game. Team USA will have Schwarber and Roman Anthony at least due up in the 9th, potentially Gunnar Henderson to pinch hit. And the question right now is, well, USA doesn't have their challenge, so they can't go back and look to see if Eugenio Suarez slid into third. And does that apply for an infield fly rule? And no other decision will be made. The call stands, and that'll set up Abreu, who is getting intentionally walked by manager Mark DeRosa, and that'll set up Salvi Perez with 2 down and runners at first and second. So if the U.S. has any chance at trying to get back the run they just gave up, they have got to get it out right here. Rogers' first offering coming to Perez. And Salvi checks his swing. Did he go? No, he didn't. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Abreu at first. Suarez at second with 2 down in a 3-2 game in the top of the 9th. 1-0. Swinging a high drive. Left field, but playable. Anthony makes the catch side of the track, and that'll do it for the inning. But not before Venezuela gets the big hit from Eugenio Suarez, and that sets the stage for the bottom of the 9th inning. Get your bowl of popcorn ready for what we're about to leash on you here tonight. Stay tuned. Bottom of the ninth, World Baseball Classic Championship game. Last chance for the Americans, down 3-2, and they will be facing Daniel Palencia, who is 2 for 2 on save opportunities this World Baseball Classic for Venezuela. But he will be facing the middle of the order: Kyle Schwarber, Gunnar Henderson, and Roman Anthony. And let's see what happens here. And there is Gunnar standing in the on-deck circle. Here comes the first pitch. Schwarber takes a slider high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the 1-0. Schwarber bounces it foul. It's 1-1. Just like his Philly teammate, Schwarber has had his moments in the biggest spots over the course of his career. Let's see if he can add another one right here. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a split-fingered fastball. That looked like the old Mike Scott pitch where it went boom. And the chop is going again. One-two pitch. Way up high. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Got him. Blew the fastball by him at 98. 1 down on the bottom of the ninth. But here comes Gunnar Henderson. Get set for some drama. He did not start in this ball game because Mark DeRosa liked Alex Bregman's odds against Eduardo Rodriguez. Now, Henderson has the chance to prove that the second guess was indeed a second guess. Henderson homered for Team USA against the Dominican Republic on Sunday night. Now, he has the opportunity to tie it up right here if he can get one elevated in the zone. Here comes the first pitch. Henderson takes it up high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. One-0 to Gunnar. Swinging a high pop-up. Playable on the left side of the infield. Garcia makes the catch, and the Americans are down to their last out. And the last thing standing between Venezuela and the most improbable World Baseball Classic Championship run of them all is Roman Anthony. He's 0 for 2 and walked back in the 7th. And can he keep this game alive? There lies the question. First pitch up high at 98. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball on the outside part of the zone at 98. It's 1-1. You can feel the anticipation or what on both sides. Valencia is 1 out away from making every American baseball fan go straight for Mark DeRosa. And we all know it. Here comes the 1-1. Splitter catches the high part of the zone, and the Americans are down to their last strike. And Miguel Cabrera is about to go ballistic. And Palencia is going to take his time to step off the mound. Will Smith in the on-deck circle if this game were to go on. And for those that don't know this, he hit the clinching home run for the Dodgers in Game 7 of the 2025 World Series against the Blue Jays. Can Anthony keep this game alive? Or will he be sentenced straight to the pit of misery? He will be sent to the pit of misery. He strikes out swinging, and the improbable run of Venezuela has culminated with a World Baseball Classic championship. Oh boy! You talk about a high-drama baseball game, that is about as high drama as they come. Oh my goodness! And all hell is coming loose. And for the second time in 3 years, the Americans lose in the World Baseball Classic championship game, ironically by the score of 3-2. Oh, is that going to hurt? The win goes to Andres Machado. The loss goes to Garrett Whitlock. And Valencia shuts the door down for his third save of the tournament. That's going to do it for us here on Bragging Rights Sports tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage of the World Baseball Classic Championship game. Thanks for tuning in. Good night. And as always, God bless all y'all.